Welcome, trainers, to the Pokesphere. We're your destination for in-depth Pokemon news, community discussions, and editorial content. We're passionate about this franchise, and we're here to share our insights and connect with fellow fans. So let's talk Pokemon. So, unless you've been living like a crustal under a rock, the last couple of weeks we have been treated finally to some news about Pokemon ZA. We've been seeing some gameplay mechanics, we've been seeing the city from the different various levels and how it's become more of a platformer to some extent. And then we had Worlds, and where we were treated to the first of a set of brand new Mega Evolutions. And before we get started, I just want to introduce our two special guests today. These are personal friends of mine, Omni,
Greetings.
and Zytonis.
What up?
Friends help friends, isn't that right, super ultra best buddy?
So during the World Champion event, they came out and were pushing the new app game that's going to be available both on Switch and on cell phone called Pokemon Champions. And in it, we're looking that we're going to be encompassing everything from Z moves to Mega Evolutions, as well as the Dynamax, Gigantamax, and Terrestrialization. And so during this announcement, they basically stated that moving forward, all world events will be held on this particular title, which is absolutely amazing. I was going to give it another year before they would even push that, but the fact that they're pushing it for next year is amazing. They're probably a lot further along than I had originally thought. But we got treated to the first of several Mega Evolutions, starting with Mega Dragonite, the dragon Pokemon.
Mega Dragonite.
So I don't know if you guys have seen this image yet or no.
That is a little interesting.
Yeah. It has wings on its head. It's got the little ball on the end of its tail.
It's previous evolutions.
Yeah. But it's got little tiny wings on its back now. It's like its wings shrank. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and show them the different trailers, the little animations that came with it, and just so they get their reactions. Now, I'm not going to show them in the video because it would obviously make this video way longer than it needs to be, but we'll get their reactions after each section. So we're going to start off with the Pokemon Champions reveal of the Mega Evolutions.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna say this about the Mega Dragonite, at least, like, as someone who used to try and include or make a all dragon team, it's cool to see him get some love, but at the same point, I'm like, do I like the art direction they went with? I'm not so sure if I do.
I would have to echo the whole, I'm not entirely pleased with the route they went with, but I do see that they at least tried to go with a rather interesting design, because it's clear that it feels like there's another step at some point afterwards. You can see the feathers, or I'm going to call them feathers for the moment, on the shoulders and on the legs with the wings on top. So at the very least, if this were to get another quote-unquote evolution, it would become a even bigger four-winged dragon type.
I can even see it going a crossover between going from Dragon Flying to Dragon Fairy.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. They kept the dragon flying. They didn't change the typing at all, which, all right, that's fine, because we do have a dragon fairy type in Mega Altaria. But I think the design is a little strange that the wings are on the back of its head. I'm half expecting to his body being so big that at some point his head's just gonna fly off. But I do like the addition of some of the traits that you see from the previous evolutions. But I definitely think the wings placed on the head were just it just feels weird, you know?
Just a little, because it feels like a weird addition. Because we have the ball on the tail from the previous evolutions. We had the horn on the head from the middle evolution. So where did the wings come from?
Yeah, where the feathers come from. Like, Dragonite always had the typical dragon-shaped wings with the ribs and the skin and whatnot. Now you have the feather wings, which is kind of like, where did this element come into play? Now, if I forget how each Mega Evolution had its evolution, if the item is shaped with a feather that gives it the Mega Evolution, that might be a tie-in, but that's really my whole thing is where do the feathers come from?
So moving along, we were then treated to I'm going to show you guys both of them in a second because it's almost like a two-part type thing that they've got going.
A few moments later.
Now, I'm going to segue for a second here. I have to admit, like, the game's coming out in, a month and a half? But my concern is that they're starting to drop all this information back to back to back. And the way they're presenting it, I think it would have been great if it was just a slow burn, a slow lead up. It's one of the biggest gripes that we've had on this channel with Nintendo and the way they handle information. We're in, August now, at the tail end of August. So imagine if I understand they were waiting to reveal Mega Dragonite for Champions, that was the whole thing, and now they're releasing all these new Megas. But it would have been great to see something along the lines of maybe the animation, if they had done, that animation, and people were like, wait, hold up. Victreebel gets an evolution, and then we get the 2 weeks later, we get to see the actual in-game showing of Victreebel.
And there it is.
Oh my god. Here I am, watching this thing, expecting something oh my god, and then it's just that.
I think the funniest thing about the whole thing is that they made it so much like a found footage type deal, and I got to thinking, a Resident Evil style Pokemon mystery type of deal would be amazing.
It would be very interesting because we have personally talked about how other variations of Pokemon would go really well. And a horror-based one, based on all the dark types and the ones with dark stories, would go pretty well.
Well, I mean, in this particular trailer, in this little mini, you got to see Spinarak, you got to see Noibat, Spinarak, you got to see
that little
the cat
I can't remember his
psychic.
name. Yeah, the little cat psychic that's supposed to get the creepy vibe, but when you see it in the daytime, it's purely cute.
It was like Meowstick or something like that.
Yes, Meowstick. That's what it was. It's just called Meowstick.
Coming out of left field.
And it also goes to show that while Spinarak does look cute, you gotta remember that thing is a massive spider, and that's the pre-evolution to a even bigger one.
So
Yeah.
were most of those actual size,
Probably close to it, if not accurate.
Yeah, Pokemon has been trying to get more accurate size representation when it comes to everything these days. But I like how they were hiding different Pokemon so that you know what Pokemon are going to be in the new game coming out. If you look at the walls, they almost look like the unknowns on the windows.
Yeah.
And you saw something that looked like the evolution of Indeedee.
Musical fairy doll.
The substitute doll, but it was Clefairy. And even Sableye was running around in the house too. So I appreciate this because there's so many little hidden things that you might miss. But the introduction of Mega Victreebel I thought was hilarious at the end. Here's the actual trailer for the in-game view.
A few moments later.
I'm just looking at it. It just looks like a really, really oversized, wet, tied-up bag.
That's a giant garbage bag.
I mean, it follows the evolutionary path, but it almost feels like somebody decided to choke the poor thing until it filled up internally.
Yeah.
Funny you should say that, because that is exactly what's going on here. It's using its vine to tie down the venom sac because it's so overfull that it'll just come out of its mouth if it lets go.
And what's funny is that it makes me think that a Victreebel Mega would be kind of interesting, because they are both of the sweet-smelling or foul-smelling plant types where they're trying to lure in something to eat.
Yeah, you're talking about the variation of the pitcher plant and the corpse flower.
Yeah, because if we could base it on their originals, the court flower Vileplume is the one that tries to attract things that are attracted to bad smells, or at least what we consider bad smells. And Victreebel is the sweet-smelling one.
The one that was opposite Victreebel was Vileplume, right? Because it was there isn't a Mega Vileplume, is there?
No, but Vileplume got an alternate evolution of Blossom.
Oh, right, the happy looking pretty one.
Yeah. So I don't mind that Victreebel gets a Mega, and if Vileplume and Blossom don't get anything because Vileplume got Blossom.
Right.
True, they get a split.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because Oddish would be essentially alright, it's just a quote-unquote weed/radish, because the name is based on it.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Gloom, and then it goes to Quartz Flower route, or it goes to, I don't remember what the belt Blossom is based off of.
I know it's like a hula dancer almost. Hula dancer and flowers like Blumera and Rufelia, whatever. But yeah, it's basically a hula dancer.
Which also goes to show the two different environments, essentially, because the hula dancer would be tropical, while the Vileplume would be more jungle related.
But still hot. But yeah, I mean, overall, what are your thoughts on the design itself? Like,
little underwhelming, but I understand the reasoning behind it.
They went for the funny haha, and it kind of follows the evolutionary path, but yeah, I guess just I don't know, maybe they could have had some different designs or something, or maybe they're trying to fulfill this weird, like, hey, we want some really weird looking evolutions. I'm not gonna lie, some of the evolutions are just weird.
they always? All right. And finally,
A few moments later.
I just want to take a second and appreciate that animation sequence, that whole bit. Like, all you had was the Pokemon, the moves, and just the crowd cheering with the music. But the trainer neither trainer ever spoke, and I think that is absolutely amazing how you can have an entire short like this convey so much and not have a spoken word.
Yes.
I appreciate the animation, as you understand I would. And like you said about the moves and everything, this is one of the first actual animations that I have seen. And if this is an official one as well, on top of that, the fact that they visually represented the actual attack moves, karate chop, reversal, sky uppercut. I mean, you can see those and you can be like, that's that.
And then there was the Endure, which is a little bit harder to really show.
Right, but you saw for that split second, that little, like, just the effect go off. I mean, it was a 1 to 2 second effect, but you're like, that's the tech, that's Endure. Oh my goodness,
Seismic toss and the flying press at the end was amazing.
Yeah.
So, in regards to the animations and the short itself, one of the well done, thought out, and executed in terms of the actual short. Now, for the design for Mega Hawlucha, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with some of the things that I've heard before and go, the lucha libre.
When I first saw it, my first thought went back to something I grew up with called a show called Mega Hawlucha, which was based on the Mexican wrestlers, masked wrestlers.
Luchadors. I find it funny because, like, I first saw the images of Mega Hawlucha and my brain automatically went, oh, okay, so Rey Mysterio's back in the game. But I'm going to be honest, Hawlucha is one of my favorite Pokemon because of how unique it is. It's got both it's both a flying fighting type. It's got a move that is both a flying and fighting when you calculate the damage. So, and it's the only move that has that kind of an effect, which is great. And so when I saw it getting some love, I'm like, oh, I'm here for it. I'm all over this thing like a fat man on a ham sandwich. But let me show you guys the in-game stuff, and I want you guys to pay very close attention to the moves that Hawlucha does. Okay.
A few moments later.
Now, I'm not entirely sure if you guys are aware, just real quick, In Pokemon ZA, the new gimmick mechanic that they're showing off here is you can actively move out of the way of an attack. So if you know what attack might be coming, or you have an idea like, say, Mega Kick, you can actually sidestep it physically.
Yeah.
So that's why in some of the moves it looked like Machamp was missing, because they backstep to move out of the range of the attack. So they're adding a new element of spatial awareness when you call out your attacks, and you can move around in 300 in the different positions. But overall, that is Mega Hawlucha. What do you guys think overall?
Honestly, personally, it feels like it's just a normal evolution to him.
Yeah, I do agree. I could see that as its next evolution rather than a mega evolution, because in all honesty, throw the cape onto Hawlucha and there you go. There really isn't a strong difference for that to really be a mega evolution. You know, like even with the earlier one from Dragonite, there was a big difference and a significant difference from the final stage evolution to the mega stage compared to this one, where he basically gets air filled into him and he has a cape.
Fair. Very fair.
But we do very much like his design. It's just that it feels like it's just an evolution rather than a mega evolution.
Like,
And-
I could see that being a second stage evolution, and then that can even lead to splitting even further and taking even the wrestling path even further if they really wanted to.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment. And I mean, overall, I've been pleased with what they've shown, at least the attempts that they've been making. I mean, we're obviously getting 3 new megas. I don't know if we're getting anything else that is new as far as megas go. There's a lot of potential in what they're doing. And I'm glad that they're at least taking a risk. Although, you know, if they don't drop a Mega Flygon, man, fans are gonna riot.
I mean,
Why? What's up with that?
Well, the excuse has been that the reason they haven't done a Mega Flygon is because they can't think of a very good design for Mega Flygon. But then you look at the 3 megas we just got. You guys came up with that, but you couldn't come up with a Mega Flygon. And I think part of the reason is because there's been so much fan art that it's hard for them to come up with a concept that doesn't pull from already established fan art.
right?
So that's where Nintendo turns around and sucks it up and goes, hey, we want this. Can we buy it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can see why Flygon is a little hard, because it's 3rd stage evolution. Looks like it's like a dragon that evolved from a dragonfly, and looks like it's heading towards a jet mode.
Yeah.
And we have Latios and Latios already to be the jet Pokemon.
It could be like the 3rd hidden like evolution to go with Latios and Latias. So you got Flygon. Mega Flygon is like, you know, the 3rd wingman. There you go. Either that or
No. If Latios and Latias are the Jets, then, you know, Flygon should be Airwolf.
And let's not forget, this is now making me want to make a Pokemon team based around this, because we have the 2 Jets, Flygon that could hopefully get its Mega Evolution of some kind of flight type, and then we get Stealth Bomber Dragon.
Yeah, that's Dracloak.
Yes, because that's what was one of my favorites recently, because it's just so hilarious that it just follows my philosophy of like, oh, I need to attack someone. Send someone else to do it.
zombie warfare. You have the stealth bomber for that, and then if you include this elements, like you said, there's your freaking what is it, Firebird from X-Men?
Yeah, Mega Salamence has no arms.
So it would be entirely possible to make a jet-themed Pokemon team with
Just
these
about,
Pokemon.
yeah.
You're missing one, unless you want to use Wailord as the freaking
Submarine.
No, Drifblim.
The
Zeppelin.
Drifblim?
Drifblim.
Yeah, we can make it Zeppelin, because it's another aircraft, even if it's a bit quote-unquote slower.
Well, either you have that, or you figure out something that it could be used as the jet carrier.
That would be Whale Lord.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
I do not believe I have anything significant to add, because while I am a little disappointed with Victreebel being probably the most basic addition in terms of its Mega Evolution, being of just like, oh, it's just now overwhelmed its own poison, Mega Hawlucha looks nice, but I personally do believe it needs to be an evolution and not a Mega Evolution. And Dragonite at least incorporates a good portion of its previous evolutions to show that it did come from them.
I agree. Omni said, and yeah, I think I've made my opponents prior to, so yeah, that's about it.
And with that brings our episode to a close. What are your thoughts about the 3 Megas that got announced and how they were announced? Honestly, we want to hear your feedback. Let us know. Also, be sure to share, like, subscribe on the video. It helps us out on the algorithm. Be sure to follow us on X and Blue Sky. We're also on Rumble, and if you're watching on Rumble, we're also on YouTube. And we have a Discord, so come down, check us out. And as always,
We'll see you in the next video.